See, we can see behind us a protest happening in TSC, Dhaka, Bangladesh. The reason why is not because of our religion. It's because we feel humanity. We feel that humanity is under pressure when Israel is violating all international rights, international laws, and international humanitarian laws when killing Palestinians in Gaza, in West Bank, or in any of Azad Palestine. I feel that the reason is much more deep-rooted than we think. It's not on the surface. We have to look at how USA's colonial past, its neo-colonial adventures both in the Middle East and in Africa play into this. Historically, the Zionist movement is not something that existed, say, 100 or 200 years ago. It's something very recent. And it exists out of the Jews want to go back to their homeland, so-called homeland. So the demographic change that Israel has tried to bring to Jerusalem and to the land of Palestine is not only supported by Zionists in Europe, but also Zionists in USA. It is because of their political interests as well. Multiple US officials have said that if there were no Israel, we would have to invent an Israel. So it's very apparent from that Israel is USA's political interest in the Middle East, and it's kept there to make sure that Islamic countries, whether it be Palestine, Egypt, Syria, so that they all stay in line. This is USA's geopolitical play inside the Middle East. So the question of whether or why Muslims are silent is a very difficult question. If you look towards ayat number 75 and 76 of Surah An-Nisa of the Quran, we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained on us jihad. It is a very important thing and a part of our Muslim identity to be able to engage in such. However, jihad is obligatory on the countries surrounding Palestine at this specific point in moment, referring to the countries of Syria, Egypt, Lebanon, and etc. Why the Muslim world is silent is a very difficult question to answer, mostly because there are many puppet governments which are controlled by the United States of America and its allies, the NATO, the European Union, and they have established a global hegemony over the culture of Islam. See, even Bangladesh, we want আমাদের মুক্তিকামী জনতা চায় ফিলিস্তিনে গিয়ে যুদ্ধ করতে, কিন্তু আমরা পারি না। কেন? কারণ সমাজ ব্যবস্থা আর আন্তর্জাতিক সমাজ, the international community has made such a situation that Muslims cannot act. However, it is my advice towards Muslims in Bangladesh, in Asia, and around the world that this is now time to act. And we cannot be missing this opportunity. The reason isn't Trump himself, nor is it his Republican administration. It's because the United States of America has always been wanting to make sure that their hegemony stays intact in the Middle East. It's not about Trump. Biden supported wholesomely and as far as I know, approved a $10 billion bill in the US Senate to send bombs to Israel. So it's not just Trump, it's not just Biden, it's not just Barack Obama, it's every US president or the president of the United States that has ever taken office while Israel has existed that they have supported Israel. It's not because of Trump, it's not because of some leader in France or in UK or in Canada, it's because they fear that their global hegemony comes into threat when Islam takes place. Historically, the Zionist movement has been supported by America and Europe by saying that since they were the victims of the Holocaust, that they deserve some place to live, or they deserve a state, or they deserve to claim their homeland in Palestine. The reason why US and its nuclear powers, whether it be Germany, France, or etc., have been supplying weapons, not clearly nuclear weapons. We don't know that exactly, whether Israel has access to nuclear weapons or not, but we do know that they have access to bombs and other army military infrastructure. And the reason Western countries do that is twofold. Firstly, that they feel sorry that the Holocaust happened to the Jews, and they feel like this is some sort of reparations for them. And secondly, is because they need to make sure that their global hegemony is not disrupted by the Middle East. Me as a student, I don't know what I can do. As far as I can do at this point in time, maybe I can come to protests around the world. It's not a new thing in Bangladesh. It's been happening in Washington, D.C. It's been happening in France, UK, and Australia. There have been violent crackdowns on protests in USA. And in some cases, Trump has also been sending people back who have protested against Israel. So it's a very hard time right now. So I want the Muslim community in Bangladesh and elsewhere to be protesting. And we do our best to send aid to Palestine, but the issue here is sometimes we fall into a lot of traps. because the borders of Rafah and many other crossings in Gaza have been closed for a long time, it's very hard to get to someone who can actually get the aid into Philistine. So I would encourage people to make sure that they can help Philistine, but it's very hard. See, even in Bangladesh, if we use the Bikash feature to donate to the Palestine embassy in Bangladesh, it's controlled by the Palestine PLO and the Palestinian Authority. We don't know if they have access to the Gazan Strip or not. But yesterday I've seen that there is a Bangladeshi foundation called Mastul Foundation, if I'm not wrong, and there's the Red Crescent Society. We can donate to them. We can come out to protests like this to make sure we show our support for Palestine. That's a very hard question. If we go to Islam and if you revisit the Quran and Sunnah, we can see that it's a long story. It's not as simple as being able to bomb Israel out of the world right now, and it's not as simple as protesting, say, in front of the U.S. Embassy to make them do something. It's a long and slow process. We had the Oslo Accords, the David Accords, we had the recent ceasefire in Gaza, yet the Israel Defense Forces have always been killing Palestinians, regardless of whether there's a ceasefire or not. So it's very hard to answer that question, as all peace talks so far have failed.
For more updates, follow us on Facebook, subscribe our YouTube channel, get the latest update on www.daily-sun.com.